musicians and cool things and stuff. It's the Holly and Josh Show.
Welcome.
I'm back, Morty.
Yes. Oh, God. I'm back from the future. Yeah, welcome to the Holly and Josh Show.
Hi, Josh.
Welcome to the Morty and Josh Show.
I did both.
You did. So that's lovely. The Rorty Cotton. We are this week playing some music from Kulk, War Waves, and Horrible Dolphins. As well, we're going to be talking about two new things, Beatchain and Fancoda, who are sort of business to business fan growing services, as well as the role of the record industry, the recording company in the music industry nowadays. So yeah, things that we can talk about. But firstly, how was your holiday, Harley?
It was great, man. I have spent lots of time in a hot tub, in a sauna. Yeah, in a sauna and a steam room, and I got shot. And it was really good fun.
Okay, so you glazed over something right there. Just double back. So you went to a sauna?
Yeah, I went to a sauna. Well, no, we had one in our villa.
Amazing.
Yeah, no, it was really good.
Did you get shot in the sauna?
No, I got shot in the paintball ring. Ring. Field.
Radio man, remember? Don't want to know about your paintball ring. Well, I didn't know they did paintballing in Centre Parks.
Oh yeah, we did laser tag, we did paintballing, and we also all took Nerf guns on holiday with us.
Great idea.
It was hectic.
That's lovely.
It was really good fun. It was.
But
cool.
you saying that you used it as quite a sort of a reflection point. That's what you use holidays as.
Well, yeah, although I had my phone on me, I tried not to look at my phone a lot over that and tried to sort of really be not working. There was a few moments where I did. But I know yourself and Raina were quite courteous to not sort of contact me unless it was like an emergency or necessary, which I really appreciate. You know, it's really awkward for people like us who are friends. I hope you're my friend.
Sort of, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to take that as a yes. But we're friends, but we work together, so it's a little bit awkward in that situation.
Yeah.
But like I say, I did use it for a time to reflect, long haul and short haul.
Yeah.
How I'm going to how I want to approach things. I do want to sort of try and, when I'm a bit quieter, socialize a bit more with my musician friends in a non-musical way, because I feel like I see people like Raina socially less now that we work together.
Yeah, but the problem is you don't play with him much.
But we teach together, so we feel like we see each other. We don't need to see each other outside of work, but actually we do, because we don't get to actually hang as friends.
Yeah, so because like a lot of my friends are musicians.
Yeah,
but like it's like all my friends are metalheads. Less than Jake. But like, you know, I don't play with much of them. Like I get to play with Raina, Rich, and Murray. Yeah, and that's about it. I don't get to play with you or Tom McCarthy or Rob Lewis.
Well, we do get to play together.
Oh, sorry, I do. Yeah, because we have Hobby and Hopefuls, but we don't get to practice that much. That's the thing. Like, you know, so we'll do a gig every once in a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's fun to do that, because it is like a different form of conversation, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. It's yeah, that's so that's one thing that I kind of was reflecting on and working out. I did a lot of thinking on holiday. You got a lot of time in a sauna and a steam room to sort of
you were doing that whole sculpture of the thinking man, whilst also with the little ring finger at the bottom there.
That's exactly what I was doing the entire holiday. A squirrel came by and was like, damn it. So yeah, the other thing I was kind of really thinking about, which is something we talked about before the show, is sort of streamlining everything that I'm going to be up to this month. My next day off now is Christmas Day.
Rock and roll.
I have got it's either AV, audio work, teaching, gigging, rehearsing, and other things, recording as well. I've got a couple of days recording. So I'm actually working every day up until Christmas, which is not, well, I say it's not ideal. It's very ideal for being able to afford to Christmas, and afford also to have a quiet January and February, because they are the sort of the graveyard months. Yeah, they are.
I've made kind of a conscious decision of trying to get a lot of gigs for January, and that's really helped. So I mean, are you kind of so is it a lot of Chart Attack and Area 51 stuff?
Yes.
Get your bingo cards out, guys.
I think I have 9 gigs with Chart Attack this month. I've got one with I had one with Hoppy and the Hopefuls. I've got one with the Mementos. and a few other ones. We'll talk about the Hopefuls gig with you in a bit, because I want to talk about the way that I'm streamlining my work, because I'm going to really sort of push to sort of any time that I have where I'm not working, to spend that time either with Nikki, my girlfriend, or with friends, or just doing nothing. I've got loads of ideas musically. I've been writing some stuff, and I'm going to put that on the back burner until January.
I've got time to do it.
Yeah, I've got other things where I'm kind of sort of biding my time. We've managed to finish all of our Christmas shopping.
Yeah, you told me this. That blows my mind.
I don't feel comfortable. I am actually I have got plans for Christmas Eve before I get to my gig at Shepherd and Dog in Hoasley, I believe. I'm going to walk through town on Christmas Eve and
just to
chuckle
watch people
smugly to myself. That is my plan.
You're a smug chuckler.
I'm a chug.
Don't attempt it.
I'm a Chuck smuggler.
Just people called Charlie, you just get them across the border.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
So the other thing I've got, so it's the little things as well. I've eradicated laces from my life.
Oh my god! What? But you're wearing laces right now.
Am I though?
What? They're rubber.
Yeah, boy.
Ooh.
I found these online. I got them.
That's a thing.
I have rubber laces on my shoes, so they're just now slip-on shoes, and they're really comfy. So there we go. Add those to your stocking list.
So they're non-slip, both ways you wear them, from the top down and the bottom up.
Exactly, they're great. Look, I always take ages to tie my laces, so and that's like 5 minutes of my day tying laces. So I'm just going to find little bits here and there just to streamline my time to save. I think the laces is going to be the most. That's going to be the most time I've actually saved. I think of anything else.
Dude.
Yeah, I might stop leaving kisses on my texts. Those extra 2 X's at the end when you're just texting your mum. No, I can get rid of that.
0.2 seconds.
Save a lot of time on that sort of thing.
Just don't give love out. Why do you want to do that?
No, I ain't got time to love. It's Christmas.
Ain't got time. Do you know what time of year it is? It's buying time, people.
Yeah. So that's my thing. That's my plan for any other people have any ideas for how I can save time, whether it saves hours, minutes, or seconds.
Shaving.
Let me know.
Even trimming. I want to see by the end of December you are like a full-on blonde Santa going on.
Oh, am I going to go for the whole month without shaving? Because
yes.
I always shave before a gig because I don't like looking fluffy.
But see, that's just wasting too much time, isn't it?
Okay, I will see how I go. We'll take it a week at a time, and I'll let you know. We'll have progress. We'll have a progress.
Why even bother getting dressed? Really think about it.
I mean,
you'll survive outside.
Or why bother getting
for
undressed?
10 minutes. Oh yeah, true. Sleep in your clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just get up and go.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Get some like silica gel packets under your arms. Those little things.
That could work. Yeah.
Seriously. I mean, they'd suck up all those horrible juices.
I have a feeling that I might end up with some horrible skin infection.
Yeah, find out you're allergic to silica. Oh, amazing. Well, yeah, I think you forget that the sort of little things to do with time really help everything. It's my ethos is that I don't like it when people say they don't have time for stuff. I prefer it if people sit there and say I don't want to do that. The amount of times that I've been on somebody to either help me with a booking because it's part of their business as well, or they'll be like, oh sorry, I just haven't had any time this week. It's like, no, you don't want to prioritize that. So if you're not prioritizing it, don't do it. So I think it's good that you're finding things you're like, that's not a priority, cut it out.
Well, this has been kind of spurred on from a conversation we had a little while ago, because you're very good at saying, no, you do have time, you're just not making time. And I'm sorry, Dave Brown's just sent me a text with a kiss in the end.
Oh, is that nice?
That's the first time he's ever done that.
They literally just send you a message with a kiss. Just the kiss.
Yeah, so
it's a waste of time, mate.
Yeah, I know, right? So where were we? Oh yeah, so yeah, you're very good at saying you're not making time, and every time I'm like, no, you're right, I'm not making the time. And a conversation we had last week, and I went, actually, no, I literally don't have time. I've got so much going on in December that I don't have time to do the extra little things on the site that I wish I could. So those things that I want to do, sack them off. I'll have plenty of time in January. So that's kind of where that that kind of what spurred me
Yeah.
onto thinking in that way.
Exactly.
And it's good that we have these conversations that sort of make you think and go, how can I be more?
Live without you. Sorry.
How can I be more? How can I be this? How can I be better at something? How can I stop sort of wasting time leaving kisses at the end of text to my loved ones?
Exactly. I mean, it's just like with me, I've ruled out saying I just don't have time from my vocabulary, because I'll sit there and find myself playing PS4 and, you know, I'll be sort of like an hour or 2 hours in. I'm like, I told somebody that I couldn't do that thing for them, which was a paid job, because I didn't have time, and I'm doing this. So the priority is skewed. So I have to literally just say, no, it's just, I didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
I don't say to them, you know, I just say, no, I don't want to do that.
Do you schedule you time into your schedule?
No, I'm not a very good scheduler. I'm literally just like, right, I'll get a bunch of stuff done and I'll see how much time I've got afterwards.
Right.
So I'll just be like, that needs doing, that needs doing, that needs doing. Prioritizing things is quite difficult sometimes, because you're sitting there going, how does one gauge importance? So you're kind of like, you end up just like, okay, we'll just get the most immediate thing done. Yeah. And then if you've got time afterwards, and then you find you've done loads of unimmediate problems, you've sorted them all. And at the end, you just be like, oh yeah, I was supposed to sort out the one big problem that the deadline was today.
Yeah.
And you're like, come on. So,
I have been in situations where I've gone, I need to do stuff, but my headspace is all over the place. I need some time just to do me and be me and do exactly what I want to do right now.
Which is you.
Yeah. Whether that is in the case of playing Xbox, playing PlayStation, going for a walk, going to the gym,
finding a quiet place,
finding your own sort of headspace where you can just be not thinking about that kind of thing, and
just doing yourself.
That is quite an important thing for self-employed people, to sort of be able to give themselves that time for themselves. Because if you are nothing but your work, and work gets too much, then you're not leaving enough for you. You need to leave some energy for yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Because, I mean, where do you think that the motivation for the stuff that is important is coming from? It's not coming from outside anywhere. It's coming from in your own head, from your own perspective and your own situation. So if you end up, you know, being too stressed because you're doing loads of jobs that you actually don't really care about, what you actually produce, the work that you produce, is just not going to be good, is it? Because you're going to be like, maybe I'll just knock that one out, or, you know. You won't be sitting there going, right, I'm going to throw myself at this. You'll just be like, all right, I'll just get that done and throw it.
Yeah. And, you know, you're, especially in this world where we're creatives, it's not worth our name, or I don't know if that's the right term, but it's not, we owe it to ourselves to give the best that we can give.
Yeah, I mean, you touched on something interesting there, which is just like brand ideals. It's kind of like... in music, I think a lot more people are coming around to the fact that they are a brand. It's a bit of a dirty word, but, you know, bands have been brands for many years. I mean, look at, you know, just how you know you can get branding across everything. And not just, you know, branding isn't just what people think it is. It's a logo, you know, or it's a color palette or something like that. Branding is more to do with the ideals of your business. And also what's, you know, what you consider to be going under the umbrella of your company, which is yourself. So I
think music's more of that than it is of any other sort of company, because it is. Someone said once that you're not, when you're sort of building a band's brand, you are. It's like making a movie, and the brand is the universe that the movie's in. Right. People fall in love with Harry Potter because it's got this big world to it, and that you want to be a part of. And those bands that you want to be a part of have that world around them, and they're in like another world, and that's what that band's brand is.
Yeah, it's the world that they live in. Yeah, no. So I think it's important the work you're doing. Just keep going there. So just work on your brand ideals, like you're saying. Just sit there and think, okay, you know, what does my brand want to do? Does it want to do audio visual? Does it want to do original music? Does it want to do cover shows? Does it want to do you know, sound design and production for lots of companies? There's a lot of different things there to fit under your umbrella. It's like and what you're doing right now is streamlining. Okay, does this need to be part of it? You know, does X need to be part of Y, and why? So, yeah. So
All
yeah,
right.
no, I think that's a good lesson for a lot of people. Is just to sit there and think what are your brand ideals and get yourself in line with them. So you know what I mean, Harley. I'm super proud of you, and I just want you to know that you should keep doing stuff and live in your own little universe. Harley did stuff, well done, buddy. Bling. Oh, guess what, mate?
What?
It's nearly Christmas. And there's so many gigs going on and everything. You forgot about that one. That was Elliot, wasn't it?
It was Elliot.
That was
Elliot McCall from Chart Attack.
Chart Attack, yeah. So yeah, there's loads of gigs going on, and one of the most important gigs that is around at all for the next year, maybe. War Waves. They've been around for quite a while now.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing them back at Swanfest a couple of years back.
Yeah.
Before our good friend Dan Dolman joined them.
Yeah.
Being very impressed. I remember them being ex-Copper Pilot guys and lots of great poetry. They've got this nice sort of like shoegaze vibe to them, sort of My Bloody Valentine, but much less electronic. I've always really enjoyed people that can make a good soundscape out of just a band.
Yeah.
I say just a band, but the
Without
standard.
having to add.
Yeah, guitar, bass, drums. Just bog standard, but still being able to make a soundscape that's quite sort of airy and it breathes without being too limited. And yeah, unfortunately, they are having their very last show this weekend.
No, it's a real shame, isn't it?
Yeah. So yeah, we've liked them since we started Harley and Josh show. They are releasing an EP. It's just called Be Well, which is quite a nice little sort of goodbye saying, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, I'm off. Be well.
Be well.
So yeah, in respect to they haven't fallen out, which is what I like about them. Dan was just giving us the lowdown and just saying that they're kind of going out on a high.
Yeah.
A lot of the songs,
end while it's good.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is really great.
It's a great idea, isn't it? It's just, while the getting's good.
Yeah.
And, while they're still mates, they haven't killed each other yet. So it's kind of that thing of the guys have written songs that are very personal to them and in the past have related to a certain situation or person that they just don't want to think about anymore. But then the concept of going out and touring those songs and those lyrics and letting that person kind of live rent free in your head, I can see that's a little bit, it can take its toll. So you're going out there and you're singing about someone that about how in love you are with them or how much they make you sick, and that's just not who you are now. So that person might be your friend now, or that person may have dumped you and just left you feeling just completely alone. So yeah, much respect to War Waves. I want to give you guys a play because we do like this song. This one is called Lion's Head. There's a video for this, and they've got an EP coming out this weekend. Stick around for the gig list to find out where. That was Lion's Head by War Waves. Fantastic little triplet halftime breakdown at the end there. I really like that. Yeah, it's great, isn't it? We're both rocking out to that one. Courtesy of Steve Mann from Backwater Records for that one. Good old man. I like that bloke. I've known him for many, many years, and he's always been a great supporter of local music. So check out Backwater Records. So yeah, my week. Ding, 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 ding. What did I do? What did I do? Some stuff, and I'm going to tell you about it. I've been teaching. I've been finding that my lessons have been getting much more professional recently because of just the volume that I'm teaching at the moment.
Right.
It's just really loud. I'm teaching so much more.
Play an E!
No! I've ended up being able to streamline, plan a lesson and give it to lots of different students at different levels so that there are different understandings. And I'm finding myself being much more proud of the lessons I've taught by the end of it. So yeah, if you want lessons, come to the Rock Project or be a student at Moorland or Rendlesham Primary. Actually, I'm going to be doing some stuff from Rendlesham. So
nice.
Yeah. So that was been fun. Had a haircut with Murray. We've got a bloke that comes around our house and he's styled us ever since we were about 14. Colin.
He does a great job.
I don't know. Colin was introduced to be by Murray Collins. And
they should get married, so his name's Colin
Collins. It'd be great. get married.
Yeah.
So yeah, we. But yeah, the thing is, we had our haircut on Friday, and then we had a gig at the University of Essex Winter Night Fair, courtesy of the SU, which was great. But I've just had a buzz cut now. My hair was very long, and so I could have all the rockabilly slick thing. And I've had a buzz cut on the side, and then I forgot that I'd be playing outside for 2 hours in the freezing cold, and I was like, "Oh, my head's cold, isn't it? Oh, I forgot about this. My scalp does have nerve endings."
I think we've all had that, like when we used to have that back in the days when we used to have long hair, and then we cut a hair off. Like, my head's so light,
Exactly.
my ears are so cold.
My face coat. That was a really fun gig. It was a big sort of variety fair thing that the students and the Students' Union put on, thanks to Johnny Marriott from Pet Needs booked us for that. So the lead singer from Pet Needs, Harley and Josh show favourites. They put on a great thing. There was some singers there. Dan King, who had this kind of Kendrick Lamar meets Drake kind of vibe. But yeah, it was quite joyful. Kind of Arrested Development style hip hop. So yeah, it wasn't too dark yet, but he's all over. I think just Apple Music. I don't think he's on Spotify, so check him out.
Okay.
So he's doing one of those aggregator deals where he's going straight to one particular streaming service. You can see it happening, just like we were saying. So yeah, that was interesting, and we played 2 sets of 45 minutes. And it was really great. We got to play some of our own songs to a crowd, a very diverse crowd, which is great, which is what you get in university. It's nice and equal parts male, female, and lots of different ethnicities and beliefs, which is, you don't always get that in a pub.
No.
Because there is alcohol in the pub, so a lot of people, especially if they're celebrating Ramadan or something like this, you just won't get them there.
Yeah.
Or they just won't drink because of their religion, etc. So it's really nice to be able to just bring it to lots of different people and see the reactions from people that wouldn't usually listen to rockabilly.
That's cool.
Nice. So that was really nice, and just nice to sort of meet different people. So we played 2 sets. They all went quite well, actually. It was running a bit late, but then somebody pulled out, so everything kind of went on time because of that.
One of those, oh no, oh okay.
Exactly. But yeah, it's one of those load-ins where it's multiple floors and multiple lifts and different ways of getting in. So those load-ins are great. But yeah, right at the end, they cut our sound. They cut off, like, they didn't cut off the amps because obviously they couldn't do that. No. But they cut off the PA without telling me. Fair enough, it was for an emergency. They were like, apparently they've got to be able to hear their thing. So I'm just mid-song and I'm like, there's no mic, and he's like, yeah, we've had to turn it off.
Okay.
And I was just like, could you just say that to me before you cut it off?
Yeah.
Just say, yeah, we've got to cut the sound. So I could just end the song and be like, all right, thank you very much, goodbye. And we sort of petered out. We just sort of did like an acoustic jam. Yeah. Towards the end, I was like, oh, okay, we'll just do something slow, and I'll just sing loud to the people on the stage. And then after the end, I was just like, can you just give me the mic? And just turn the mic on. And I was like, thanks everybody, we got to go. So I don't like that. But yeah. I was like, come on, you got to just say to somebody, right, I'm cutting the mic now, just so it doesn't look
and they didn't
as
give
unprofessional.
It wasn't like they gave you a warning or anything.
No.
Oh, it was for emergency, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, it was one bloke that came over complaining. He was like, I can't hear the phone if it goes off. I was just like, okay, so there's not actually something. Yeah, anyway.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I wasn't quite happy with that one, but the rest of the gig was really great. So, Cheers, Johnny Marriott and everybody for sorting that one out. Nice we had a gig together on the Saturday at the Punch and Judy. I didn't know that they were doing gigs, but apparently they
got music here, there. I think they've got music there every weekend up until Christmas.
They got Barney Holmes.
Oh, have they? Nice.
There, I believe next week or the week after. Check their Facebook page.
Hopefully he's feeling better. I've seen his a lot of pictures of him in hospital at the moment. I don't quite know what's up, but he seems to be getting by. And
that's good. Well, if he's gigging,
yeah,
I hope he's going to be feeling 100%.
Yeah, hopefully so.
Yeah.
Get well soon, Barney.
That was nice, though, because we played a couple of new songs that you hadn't rehearsed with us turned up and played them.
Yeah, and they went really well. With good vibes from all sides of the stage.
Exactly.
On that.
My playing wasn't the best. There were some points where I messed up, and I wasn't happy with what I was doing. I took on a lot of the songs that I don't usually sing from Andy because she was feeling under the weather. And
you did really well with those, really well.
Thanks, man. But yeah, I wasn't, especially some of them was completely out of my range.
Yeah, there was a few that were on the higher end, but you still managed to hold them in
some form anyway. So, but yeah, I mean, I think you guys did a good job. Yeah, I could. It was probably the biggest stage that we've played on.
Oh, it was lovely, wasn't it?
Yeah, we've played on like Gardener's Arms. Probably the second biggest that
And that was cramped.
and exactly still was kind of cramped. So yeah, it was quite nice to have a little bit of space to move around in. But yeah, and then Sunday I had my housewarming party, which you turned up to, didn't you?
Yes.
It was really nice.
It was cool. I mean, I wasn't really there.
Yeah, you were like 5 minutes, but on the way home, you're like, "Hey, bye."
Yeah.
But there was where were you? You were working during the day, weren't you? Or you were
I
from London or
was
something?
with Nikki. Yeah, I was
nice.
because she wasn't very well, so
Bless her.
I was looking after her.
Yeah. Well, thank you for just making at least 5 minutes to come around and have a look at the house.
No worries.
And we just sort of we had a big group of musicians and weirdos in my house. I think there was about 30 odd people in my house at one point.
I was going to say it's not a big house. So I was going to say,
No.
was it crowded?
It was pretty crowded.
Yeah.
It was pretty crowded, but nothing was broken. I'm slightly hungover today, as you can probably hear from my voice, everybody. I apologise. But yeah, it took every fibre of my being to wake up this morning after listening to loads of really good music and drinking great amounts of beer, with really close friends, wonderful people and wonderful musicians.
Yeah.
Then waking up this morning and being like, "Oh, I've got to get out of bed. I've got to do research for the show." So on that point, I'm going to play a bit of music, and I would like to talk about some real interesting music news. So this band that we've played quite a few times, this particular song, they are playing locally and live very soon this weekend. So check them out. This is Kulk with "Fix Me." Fix Me by Kulk. They are playing this weekend. Loving all the huge noise coming out of those guys. I mean, it's a two-piece, and so much massive riffs coming from two people. It works, doesn't it? So yeah, check them out. They're going to be playing locally. So music news. Here we go with the music news.
Jingle.
There we go. So I have heard about a new company called Beatchain. So we've been talking about this kind of subject before. The executive behind a data management tool relied upon by global artists like Apple, global giants like Apple, Facebook, Uber, and Goldman Sachs, believes he's created a solution to the headaches of millions of recording artists. MDSL, which has offices, this is the company, it has offices in New York, London, Paris, Gothenburg, Tokyo, and Hong Kong. It currently manages over $12 billion of technology expenses. Annually, that is $12 billion annually. That's ridiculous. So the firm has kind of basically just turned its eye towards the music industry. Ben Mendoza, the Beatchain head, said, "I wanted to turn my attention to the music industry because I believe there will be some radical changes to the way it approaches being successful." The firm offers artists and their representatives AI-driven services, which include automated fan growth on social platforms, A&R insights, social media management, event promotion, and real-time online ad bidding. So this offering for straight to artists, Beatchain, and a business to business. So that'll be like major independent labels, managers and promoters. That'll be Fancoda. So it's all led by sort of data scientists, artificial intelligence degree holders, and machine learning experts and senior music industry professionals. Basically what they're doing is they are helping artists to outsource the social media targeting side of their business. So when you put on a Facebook advert or something like this, you have to sort of choose when it's going out, who it's going to, and where it's going to be placed in the marketplace. So in terms of, that could be geographically, demographically, all this kind of stuff. Which, when you aren't a degree holding AI or a behavioral scientist, is kind of confusing to have to do. It's just sit there and say, okay, what is my audience? Am I 45-year-old women, or am I just young people who listen to XYZ? How do I figure that out? So this is kind of a way for people to outsource that job. Does that sound like something good to you? Yeah.
Now, what this sounds to me, as we've talked about the threat in effect.
Oh yes.
Okay.
The band threatened. Check out one of our older episodes for that one. Cool, Rocky.
So, essentially, that massive failure there came from a record label saying, "Come back when you've got so many likes on your page."
Mm-hmm.
and the musicians fought back by going, well, we'll buy our likes.
Yep.
So then we can get, back in the day it was buffering up your like count. So then you have a few more, but you've still got a following, but then when that gets exhausted, then you end up with a band that have no following that do a UK tour.
But the threatened thing is that it's bots. I mean, you get non-real followers.
But this is the next. Let's say that whole thing of buying likes is outdated because, as they proved, that those bots
didn't go to shows.
They mean nothing. And if you just turn up to it and played a gig to a bunch of toasters, it would be weird.
Yeah.
So,
oh man, I want to do that. That's a very Andy Warhol thing.
Yeah.
I mean, so it doesn't matter if you've got 10,000 followers on your page. If there's nobody at your gig, who cares?
So what this is going, well, you still buy your likes, but they're real people, and they're using a more integrated system to go, we'll give you likes, but there'll be real people.
Yeah.
And because we'll just use the technology we have
targeting
to be able to point someone who goes, I want to listen to a rockabilly band play original music that's really cool, and I'm trying to think of something to be really specific here, and has a left-handed drummer. And they go, we've got just the crowd over here for you,
Cramps.
Josh. Do you want to just get us to do that? And then
the interesting thing here is ad bidding, which I think has become a bigger part of the music industry that we are part of. If you think about ad bidding, is basically just you're trying to get a space in someone's view.
Okay.
But somebody like us, where we're just like, I'll put a £5 ad bid on. That doesn't really get you the biggest space. Whereas if you are going with somebody like Beatchain, or that's a big company that has its fingers in many advertising pies, they'll be a little bit more persuasive to get your music in front of people. I've found a lot of artists through Facebook ads, like Blue Lab Beats. I hadn't heard of them until they sort of popped up on my page, and I was like, oh man, they're actually really, really, really good.
Yeah.
I didn't know about certain albums coming out until a Facebook advert came up, like John Hopkins. And it was Immunity, I think, is his most recent album. And Emerald Rush came up in a video on Facebook. I clicked on that and I was like, wow, I'm sold. Yeah. And so, I mean, that a little bit of revenue space just on my phone.
Yeah.
I mean, so that's basically where your money's going when you're making
you're buying a part of someone's screen.
Exactly. So
when you put it like that, it sounds really weird.
It's quite creepy, isn't it? But I mean, that's kind of what these companies are for, and that's where we kind of need to outsource. It's because what kind of buying power do we have as small-time ad buyers when there's companies like this that are buying bulk, huge amounts of ads, and we are getting a small percentage of what they do, but because they are buying these ad spaces bulk from these, basically content providers like Facebook. Well, see, Facebook aren't content providers, are they? They're just publishers.
Right.
There's two different things. There's content providers. So if you imagine that the digital marketplace is like a newsstand, there'd be things like I don't know. So if you're a YouTube curator, then you would be the magazines on that stand. Yeah. If you were making an article, you would be a magazine on that stand. If you're a podcast that has a show on iTunes and can be reviewed, and also you can subscribe on YouTube, and also just download it every once in a while. You love it. Called the Harley and Josh Show. We would be a magazine on the newsstand. Right. The newsstand itself would be Facebook. Instagram, YouTube. So they don't actually have any kind of liability when it comes to the content that's on there. Yeah. That's I think it's Section 230 of some kind of massive law thing that I'm not versed on.
Section 230 of some massive law thing. That sounds,
exactly.
Legit, yeah.
Apparently it's a thing. But so when these companies are basically like Facebook, Instagram, they are the people in contact with somebody like Beatchain. Beatchain will go to the newsstand and sort of buy shelves, if that makes sense. So, but lots of blocks, whereas we would buy just a space for one magazine, and that's not going to get as much spread as like a big company like that. So I think it will be useful. I have not checked up the pricing for it yet though, so it'd be really interesting to hear what you guys think. You can give us a tweet, you can give us a comment on any of the Instagram posts and all this kind of stuff, just to let us know what you think. Is that something that it would be useful to a musician?
I think it would. I think it's the...
I'm not asking you, I'm asking these people. Well, let's listen. Go on, say something. Oh, I don't think he wants to say anything.
No.
He or she. Go on. I mean, I think comment then. Come on then. Go on.
Yeah.
Goading people
comment
on.
below in the description and stuff and ting.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I think that's music news for this week. So I say thank you for the music news. Here's our next section.
Thing I found and thought about this morning.
jingle.
Stuff. I thought about things you like.
I shouted jingle at the last time you said
Yes, you
something.
did.
And that's my catchphrase.
Yeah, it's the way for me to remember that I'm supposed to make a jingle out of it.
Jingle.
So, we wanted to talk about the role of the record company
Yeah.
in
It's
the
an
music
interesting
business
one.
now. Yeah. So, on this kind of same thing that we've just been talking about, and where social media is involved in that.
So, what, in your words, what is a record company? What is the dictionary definition of a record company?
Well, I don't have a dictionary in my head, I'm afraid. However, I believe that it's much the same as Beatchain, where it's kind of where you outsource things that you don't want to do as a band to another company. So the record labels can be part of so many things. You can get, just the basic things, recording and engineering, as well as distribution. Whereas nowadays you get those things like 360 deals where they take a cut from your tour and your bookings and everything in between, including your publishing and your rights.
And they have control over what shows you do as well.
Exactly. So it's kind of, it's become a management thing, but it's also involved in A&R, so it'd be finding new artists, which I think has been the most under attack part of a record label in the most recent years anyway. So, let me just give you a quick little kind of rundown of the sort of the unfortunate history of the major labels, because we found out that the first ever record label technically is Columbia, which was started in 1887.
Wow.
From a gramophone company.
Of course, makes sense, doesn't
brought
it?
out from that. But, they've sort of flying high ever since because they had the industry kind of cornered. It's just like, if people wanted to buy some music, then they would go to a company that was distributing music. So let me have a look here. So there's 131 years ago that Columbia was started up. But so up until about 1999, everything's going great with sort of six major. Can
you name them?
Crikey, Polygram, Sony, Time Warner,
BMG,
Universal.
Universal, that's it, and Virgin.
Oh, used to be, yeah, of course.
Yeah, I don't know if they're still going.
EMI.
Of course.
Yeah. So, but again, so you get to 1999, and Napster comes out. CD sales halved.
Metallica's enemy.
Exactly. Napster. Sales halved between 2000 and 2008. Completely halved of CDs. And between 1999 and 2014, the industry lost almost 40% of its revenue thanks to streaming. In 2015, though, growth rose significantly for the first time since the late 90s and hasn't slowed since. Revenue itself, though, in 2017 stood at £13 billion, which is only 2/3 of its 99 peak. 1999, it was 3 times higher than that. So that's, £40 billion industry. So market growth, it's not really been... It's the thing because labels have been a little bit bad at bringing on new technology, like the MP3, MTV, and the CD. They took ages to adopt it because they knew that things before that were working well for them.
That's it. Yeah. And I guess you hear all these stories of these record labels and their job is to make money. I mean, the idea of any business is to make money, really. But then you hear of people being caught at the short end of that stick. Yeah.
So, now that basically brings us to today, and we've got streaming now, which has shaken up the record companies quite a lot because it has messed with release schedules. So if you think about it, like you can release a track up on Spotify and not have to get it out to all the shops and then plug for people to go to those shops. You can literally just release single after single after single after single after single. If you wanted to, you could release the whole album, in bits before the actual album was there.
Which I
because it doesn't cost you anything for shelf space. You just literally you pay an aggregator, you have your music up there on streaming service, and it's there.
One of my favourite artists of modern day, a singer called Sigrid, she hasn't had an album. She's been going for, dare I say, 3 or 4 years. Yeah. She had a 5-song EP and then just released singles after single, which is great, but I'd like an album.
Yeah.
You know?
So
that's me being old school.
Yeah. So that's what record companies are good for, is for finding people like you that need a certain product, which we don't quite have as knowledge as just artists. So you need that kind of stuff. But the real competition for record labels now, because of that kind of thing that's needed, is to find people and what they like. The competition is actually Instagram, Facebook, and Snapchat. Yeah. Because there's obviously competition for talent, but they've always prioritized competition for the ears and the eyeballs of the consumer, because we live in a kind of attention economy. Yeah. So it's kind of harder for record labels to grab people's hearts and minds when there are so many creators that can go straight to the public, their given market.
Well, that's it. You talk. I say back in the day, the record labels would pay for the recording, whereas it's so. Well, the price of recording has dropped significantly to what it was sort of 20, 30 years ago. Yeah. You know, it's so easy for someone to get the equipment, get the stuff themselves. Yeah. And
much easier.
Learn how to do it themselves, or go to a, you know, you think about how much it costs for some studios nowadays. They halve what they used to be back in the day. Yeah. Because you don't need to buy a big reel of tape unless, you know, you're Josh Locke and want to go to the amazing Sugar Rays.
Yeah, of course.
Different story, but
that's different, isn't it? But the thing is, like, it used to be driven by sort of the low cost, high ticket price of a CD or a vinyl. You can literally just pay pennies to get something printed if you're doing a lot of CDs or a lot of vinyl, and then still charge 12 quid for it, which what labels used to do, which kind of bloated the marketplace a bit, and it sort of led to like hysterical bidding wars, big advances, so you know, the £1 million record deal, and lots of waste as well, so you'd be left over with loads of CDs and things. And I think the public now has gotten wise to the fact of you can buy cheap, sell high. Whereas now that you know that it doesn't take a huge amount of money to record something and release it, you know, it doesn't take you hundreds and hundreds of pounds, hundreds of thousands of pounds to print loads of CDs, because you can record it in your bedroom and you can get it straight onto Spotify for 50 quid a year maybe. Yeah. And apparently one of the sort of nails for the well, it's not a coffin, but you know, like the lid is on. We don't really need labels, because most of the time people are making more money on live work. So apparently in 2011, people spent more on live music than recorded music for the first time since the invention of the gramophone, and it has been rising ever since. So the live industry just makes more money than the recorded industry. So lots more people are just like, oh, why do I need a label? I just need a booking manager.
It is an interesting concept of how you describe to someone of how an original musician makes money, because you do a gig to sell your merch and your music, but then you use your music to get people to come to your gigs. Yeah, it is a weird
vicious cycle.
It is a cycle that kind of hopefully goes on, and that actually brings on. You spoke about another company called Fancoda. Yeah, looking on their website, it's got a whole bit about what they do, but they've got a 4-step of music fans, and they say new fans. How they'd be on YouTube or Facebook or social media. Right. They might like your page, follow your music. A follower, you know, they'll do those, but they'll also listen to your music on Spotify. The next step up, you've got a concert goer, is someone who, you know, follows your music on YouTube and on Facebook and listens to it on Spotify, but also goes to your gigs. And then you've got the super fan who will follow you, will share your music, and will also wear your merchandise and buy your merchandise. And that's the sort of where the super fans and where the lifelong people you want to follow you are.
And you want to find them, so you use an app like that.
And these companies hopefully will find you.
Exactly. So, I mean, I don't know. There's labels like Backwater Records, like we were talking about earlier, who represent War Waves, and that's Steve Mann, he's a local guy, and also Anti-Gen with Jason Whittaker, who's been, you know, they are people that pile their heart and soul into their work and to these bands don't make money off them, but are so passionate about it that they don't care about the money. They're literally just doing it for the music and for the fans. Which is the best side of the recording industry.
Yeah.
It's just the people that you meet that really do care that the music gets to someone, because it might change their life. So those kind of labels are so needed, but then you end up sort of you can compare the record industry to a boutique store on the high street, like St. Nicholas Street in Ipswich, which like tucked between a mega store like Apple and Google. So if you imagine that, like, you know, you've got this record label that's got these real nice like bespoke music, but then you've got Tesco right next door that's like selling, it's like F&F.
Selling,
you know,
selling last year's X Factor contestants.
Exactly. So, but because they've got all the other stuff that people need in there, so people, like, you know, the Facebook is kind of like the most visited website.
Yeah.
So you've got to kind of compete with something like that. And when you're a smaller business, it's getting harder and harder and harder. Even though that we have been given the freedom of an internet space, it's still getting overpowered by major companies. So I think, personally, just to sort of to put my view on it, I think small record labels are needed for people like our level to get a good first couple releases out and to have a good working knowledge of a release schedule and a release cycle, and to just sort of help those record labels out as well as your own business. And then from then on, you can make your own label out of these kind of out of these experiences that you have, release your own music, and then you're a little bit more business savvy, and you've got a little bit more of a protective barrier around you. And
have the contacts as well. I do think, you know, one advantage you get from these labels is their contacts and the people they know. They can put you through the channels that you wouldn't otherwise have available to you.
Exactly. So yeah, anyway, I thought that was very, very fun, interesting chat. What do you guys think? Get involved, get in contact, let us know what you want us to talk about, and your views on things so far. I've been enjoying our little music industry chats. It's been loads of fun.
They're great.
Yeah.
I'd say a squirrel in a sauna told me that you're not a bass legend until you've played on top of a roof. So are there any bands playing on top of any roofs this weekend coming?
No. I can't think of any.
Let me just check the grapevine.
There we go. Until, like, while you're checking that, I wanted to do a quick shout out to everybody that joined in our Facebook game this week. There was some really great band names coming out because we did the whole nothing at all. Good Lord. Well, you know, what you can do though, Harley, look at this. You can make the grapevine look like a roof, and there's a band on the front cover that look like they're playing.
I wish it said the front was Jethro Tull, so I could say Fiddler on the Roof.
Fiddler on the Roof.
Oh wait, he plays
a flautist on the roof. You fool. Anyway, flail. So yeah, just a quick thing. Thanks to Adam Prowse for the idea for the for the game.
This was brilliant.
So it was write your favourite band name backwards with no vowels and let others guess.
Are there any that you didn't get?
Loads.
Oh, cool.
Loads.
Let's have a look.
But I got. It's difficult to read them out over the air. So
go on the page and see if you can answer any ones that haven't been named.
Yeah. So I'm trying to look at who did the best one though.
I keep reading the B's as D's because they're backwards. I keep reading them wrong.
Again, dyslexic. I like Rob Lewis's one. All right, that's the one I'm going to go for. Just sk.
Oh yeah,
which is kiss
of course,
backwards,
of course.
And also the one he put underneath, which was Oasis. There's too many vowels to leave out. So yeah, get involved in that. That's loads of fun to be doing that. That's on our Instagram as well. We're at Lockabilly's. We'll do a new game this weekend. But yeah, just keep getting involved. So that brings us on to El Giglisto. You got some gigs that you want to plug this weekend?
I have got a very busy weekend with Chart Attack. I didn't really play footsie with you this time.
Touch me.
So I am playing this Friday with, I've got 3 gigs in a row with Chart Attack.
Whoa.
We're playing Friday at the newly named Whiff Waff.
Grand Central.
Yeah, what used to be Grand Central is now Whiff Waff. We are going to be playing there, and I'm really looking forward to that.
Nice.
We are at the Victory in Mersey Island on Saturday. That'll be a nice early one. And then we're also playing at the Shamrock on the Sunday.
Polly Haynes lives in Mersey Island, so you might be able to get her down.
Oh, drop her a line. Make sure see if she's about.
Yeah, cool. What was on Sunday, sorry?
Sunday we are playing at the Shamrock.
Oh, right, in town.
Yes, but not before. We will be doing our Rock Project Adults live show at the Railway, which I'm really looking forward to. I'll be there.
That's in the afternoon, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's going to be loads of fun.
I think that's a 1 o'clock start. That
1 o'clock start, and that's some of our students' first gig.
Yes.
I believe.
Oh yeah, it'll be their first gig for a few of them.
Some of them, yeah. So that's a big deal.
Pop along. There's not any other music going on at that time, so you can go on to see some more live music afterwards. But show your support for some really great students, some really good musicians as well.
Exactly.
They've absolutely. They worked really hard for this, so I'm going to be looking forward to seeing it. Yeah,
I'm going to rocket through the gig list as we've got one more song to play by Horrible Dolphins. But the gig to go to this Friday is the farewell gig from War Waves.
100%.
That's featuring Radio Orwell, Goldblum, and Sleepwell. They're all wonderful bands, and it's cheap entry, so get in. That's at the Smokehouse this Friday, December 7th. I won't say what else is going on December 7th because I just want you people to go to that gig.
Yeah.
December 8th, which is Saturday, we've got Dead Soul Winterfest. So Darren's putting that one on.
Nice.
Saturday, 8th of December, it's from 6 o'clock at the Black Horse in Ipswich. You've got
right.
Aluna, Elder Seer, Kursk, Consecration, A Bribe for the Ferryman, and Spider Vein. So loads of really good metal bands for that one.
Sweet.
And cheap entry, as per usual. December 8th, also the Saturday night, we've got Ashton Jones and his Soul Funk Quintet. That's huge. He doesn't play in Ipswich much, and he's got a great band.
What do you mean it's huge? There's only 5 of them.
That's a big word, though. That's
the word itself is quite huge. Yeah.
So that's Saturday at 8 o'clock at the Steamboat. So that'll be proper round, and that'll be sweaty and funky. So check that out, December 8th. That's Ashton Jones and his Soul Funk Quintet. Also on Saturday, there's some noisy stuff going on at the Smokehouse. We've got Italian Books, Dystopian Sound Collective, our friend Tim. Talking Sleeve, Beard Effects, Two Blind Mice, the 4 o'clock Robots, and that's all sort of like electronica stuff. So if you want some interesting soundscapes, get onto the Smokehouse this Saturday. Also Saturday, we've got Crooked State, Karma House, and Kulk. So who we played earlier. If you enjoyed your sort of two-piece stonery, rockery, grungery, that's at the Queen Street Brewhouse in Colchester on the 8th. Also in Colchester on December 8th, we've got musicians supporting the homeless charity, which is Horrible Dolphins are doing a set for that one. So I'm hopefully going to go down to see that one. That's Denial Twist, and that's at Three Wise Monkeys as well. And also on Sunday, just one more plug, we got the Rock Project Adults returning to the Railway. So if you want to see some people's first ever gigs, check that out.
Please do, yeah.
And in the meantime, please subscribe to us, mates.
Find us on YouTube, on Facebook, iTunes, all of the big ones. Just search Harley and Josh Show. Nice and easy.
Yes, mate. And let us know what you want us to talk about next week. We love you and stuff, innit?
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Mobile phones controlling our brains, diagnosing our growing pains. Weight loss diets versus steroid gains, 3-course meals on first-class trains. Boy races carry girls running a road, touchscreen phones and fingerprint codes. Self-checkout automated answer machines, babies born using 5 people's genes. Don't you get the feeling now we're out of control? Don't you get the feeling now we're out of control?